The year 2020 has been one roller coaster ride, more so because the COVID-19 pandemic, which has shaken the very foundations of the world, affecting all sectors non-indiscriminately. Closer home, the corridors of justice have not been an exception. Our very own Lillian Minor brings us the 2020 roundup from our courts.
The dawn of the year 2020 was met with great expectations from people who hoped that this year will bring forth good tidings, even as some of them jotted down the New Year's resolutions. Business was as usual in the courts, leading up to April when the nationwide shutdown of courts began to take effect due to concerns over the spread of COVID-19. For the next few months, court buildings will be more of abandoned structures, devoid of the usual beehive of activities. However, in June, the news of Kenya's undoubtedly most significant corruption case success involving Sirisia MP John Waluke, who was found guilty in a 297 million maize fraud case, lit up the courts. He was fined an amount adding up to 1.04 billion with an alternative prison term of 67 years. As the dust settled, the Director of Public Prosecutions, in conjunction with the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, began executing Friday arrest and arraignment of high-profile graft suspects, infamously known as Kamata Friday, with governors being the worst hit.
In the contract between the Migori County government and
In a dramatic turn of events, Migori Governor Okoth Obado, a familiar face along the corridors of justice, was arrested alongside his 4 children, followed by his other counterparts, the Rakanithi Governor Muthomi Njoki, Garissa Governor Ali Korane, and former Nairobi Governor Mike Sonko. The besieged governors rushed to court, greatly rattled, to seek protection and security of their jobs, alleging that they were being unfairly targeted under the guise of fighting graft. In October, one of the most perplexing rulings in case history was made by the Kenya Employment and Labor Relations Court in a case involving the former Youth and Gender PS Lillian Omolo, who was awarded 1 shilling for unfair dismissal as the amount was considered adequate for the former PS, who was found in possession of 33 million alleged to have been proceeds of crime. The Westgate Mall terror attack in 2013 left deep scars imprinted on the nation, where 67 lives were lost. This year, 2 suspects were sentenced to 33 and 18 years in prison for their involvement in the massacre, which didn't sit too well with the survivors, who felt that the sentence did not make up for those atrocities. The climax of it all is the retirement of Chief Justice David Maraga, the head of the judiciary and president of the Supreme Court, who made history when he nullified the 2017 general election results, a move which was deemed very unpopular.
Consequence, the presidential election of the 26th October is hereby upheld, as is the election of the 3rd respondent.
The curtain has now fallen on his 4-year tenure, during which he was loved and hated in equal measure for his firm stand on various issues. It is also during his tenure that the implied strained relationship between the judiciary and executive became very glaring. The clearly frustrated Chief Justice openly called out President Kenyatta over his failure to appoint the 41 judges recommended to him by the Judicial Service Commission, leading to the near crippling of the justice system.
Requires you to appoint judges recommended to you by the JSC, which you have refused to do. The laws of this country include valid court orders. It therefore behoves you to appoint the 41 judges recommended for appointment by the JSC as ordered by the court without any further delay.
A few weeks later, he dropped another bombshell by advising the president to dissolve parliament over the failure to implement the 2/3 gender principle. However, he has time and again clarified that he holds nothing personal against the head of state.
To our president, wherever you are, it is clear there is a difference of opinion between me and you. But I want to assure you and the entire nation
that have nothing personal against you.
Despite the controversies and squabbles, he will be remembered for viciously fighting to uphold the rule of law and independence of the judiciary, impressive digitization of the judiciary through case tracking systems, digitization of case records, online court sessions, automation of court proceedings, e-filing systems, clearing of a big chunk of case backlog, as well as the opening and refurbishment of more than 22 courts across the country and more than 60 operational mobile courts. All eyes are now on the succession politics at play, even as the nation awaits the next Chief Justice, who will either continue with David Maraga's legacy or chart a new path for themselves. For Switch TV, I'm Lillian Maina.